Okay, recording this video after close trade Wednesday, 30th of May 2012. Well, this is getting really interesting. We kind of bottomed last week and I was expecting a week rally up. I thought it might last 2 or 3 days, but in fact it only lasted yesterday. Today we've broken yesterday's low and it just really, yesterday was very weak and today we just kind of crept down and we're now below really important support levels. So I'll show you that on the tick bar chart. The story today though was the currencies. They just got wasted. Dollar index is up and everything else, particularly in Europe, is just down, down, down. So I'll go through those charts and show you what's happening. But what's important on this chart is now we're down below this support level on the daily chart. We came up to test it. Support becomes resistance. It was a high churn bar. We've come back down. That high churn bar now, because we've broken the low of that, kind of suggests that that was sellers coming into the market and stopping the advance, and we've dropped down. Interestingly, today is also a high churn bar day, so I don't think that's necessarily buyers coming in and buying the lows. It was just seems like it was kind of creeping down all day. I don't know why the range was so compressed today. We didn't kind of let loose. We didn't kind of lose confidence entirely and go for a 3% down day. So is that professionals just slowing the market and getting ready for a drop through kind of 1290? If you look on the 135-minute chart, pullback now looks like we'll make a dirty end of trend, so we're back down below resistance here, so we're likely to kind of keep on going down and make that level there. But everything's kind of switched around, so better X trend is now in a downtrend after that little poke above the trailing stop level. Today it's kind of flipped around and we're down in a downtrend. On the trend line chart, we're in congestion here between rising and falling trend lines, and we're just inches away from that 1300 kind of 1290 type level. We drop through that, we're into a serious move down. And don't forget, we got this in the background, the stock market crash warning signal on the commitment of traders. We've not had a 10% correction. With that last kind of down move, we got really close. I think it was about 9.8 or something like that. So, with my bearish hat on, I think this is the first leg in one of these moves. So, and yeah, here's the story on the currencies. So euro continues down. Now it's 123.65. We've gone through support, these big readings here down on better momentum. A lot of selling kind of going on. You'd expect a bounce at some point, but the point is we're below support on the daily charts, and with some trend momentum in that direction. So we've got to make pullback to end of trend. So this is serious on the euro. And you can see it, Aussie dollar, parity was where the support level kind of came through. That last little kind of push up that we had a couple of days ago into 99 almost here. Blue professional bar, broken the lows of that. We're down at 96s. So we're below this support level on the daily chart. On the pound I thought a month ago the commitment of traders numbers on the pound was looking relatively strong and the pound was holding up, but in the meantime we've had exhaustion buying. We've turned around a resistance level. This is getting the move going here. Exhaustion selling, blue professional bars coming through support. We've now dropped through support, so we're in a serious downtrend here on pound. Swiss franc, same thing, through support on the daily time frame. Dollar index now broken into this uptrend here, so this is going to travel a ways until we get pulled back to end of trend on all these time frames. And again, you can see a gathering. So blue professional bars underneath resistance, just waiting for that, accumulating positions, waiting for that breakout, and then the breakout happens. Yeah, the interest rates today as well kind of took a battering. So just to show again, on the daily charts, we're still in downtrends. I thought the interest rates had maybe found a little bit of a low for the year, and I thought we'd get a rally in rates and the bonds would kind of come off. But with today's activity, you can see here, it's kind of dropped through, and on the daily charts we're still in downtrends on rates because we're below support here. So here's the 5-year, 30-year, and then if you look on the monthly charts, this is where we were finding support previously. We've kind of come through here, and it's at record kind of lows, or very near to record lows in terms of rates. Same thing on the monthly chart here, dropping through that support level, and the 5-year dropping through that support level. So I mean, all of that is just showing the rush into the US dollar, into the safety of bonds, driving down the interest rates, and all the currencies are getting whacked, particularly those following the euro. And it's because of the news coming out of Spain, the ECB. I'll put Mish's article on, link to that today, because what how Spain is dealing with the bad loans of Bankia, and nationalising that bank, and the ECB's response to that is really kind of critical. Just going to go through the weekly charts on these risk-on markets, because I'm looking at the daily charts to see exactly what's happening kind of day by day, but the weekly charts are the charts that I use to determine trend. It's just like using a 500, 1500 and 4500 tip bar chart. The middle time frame, that 1500 tip bar chart, is what I use to determine trend. Similarly, looking at a daily, weekly, monthly chart for these kind of risk-on, risk-off markets, the middle time frame is this weekly time frame, and you can see how the same patterns kind of just show you trends. So just show you crude weekly chart, we had exhaustion buying, first bearish divergence, and then the flush pattern here, and that marked the top of this market, testing back up into 110, and we've fallen off since there. This will not stop until we start seeing exhaustion selling and bullish divergence kind of coming in. So we've not seen that on the downside yet, so this will keep kind of going down. Aussie dollar, same thing, pull back to end of trend, exhaustion buying, first bearish divergence comes in, marks the top of the market. We overshot the end of trend a little bit, and now we're in a downtrend. Big readings in terms of sell-off, but this doesn't turn around until we see the bullish divergence patterns kind of coming in after exhaustion selling. So we've got to wait for that, so that's why this is still going to head down. Silver, same thing. So exhaustion buying, first bearish divergence, and waiting for pull confirmation on price, pull back to end of trend. So although you had an exhaustion buying and first bearish divergence here, this needed price confirmation to really mark the end of that move, and it ended up with all these blue professional bars right up here at the highs, and we've not seen that exhaustion selling on the downside in order to mirror that activity to stop this move here. Although gold and silver seem to be kind of holding their own for the last couple of days, I don't think the downtrend's over. Gold, same picture with exhaustion buying up here at the highs, blue professional bars, pullback, didn't make a kind of classic pullback to end of trend, but this is kind of the test back up to 1800, and we've got to see this at kind of level of exhaustion selling on the downside again. Gold's kind of holding its own at the moment, and here's the euro. Pullback to end of trend going down here, extremely large readings. I suppose this one's a little bit different on the weekly chart. We didn't get kind of exhaustion buying signals up here. These were pretty high readings, didn't actually signal exhaustion buying, but it was that order of magnitude at least, and then these bearish divergence signals kind of come in here, and that marked the top. So we're seeing the exhaustion type levels that we've seen before that stopped these moves, but we've not seen the bullish divergence kind of come in. So really kind of critical levels that we're going through. Here's copper. So exhaustion buying, first bearish divergence, pull back to end of trend with a flush pattern, bang, rolls over. Last time we came back in to test another flush pattern, we're heading back down. So again, big readings here, but we've not seen the first bullish divergence to stop this, so this is going to keep going until we see that. So there we go, just reminding you that on the weekly charts on these kind of risk-on, risk-off markets, that's how you can determine trend for bigger term picture, and I just don't think this is over. That's why I got this kind of bearish bias. I mean, the equities is only down less than 10% on this last kind of move down. A lot of these other markets kind of moved further than that, so I think we're going to break that trend line and get into that second leg of that downtrend move. In terms of, I was just going to show you this on the 40,000 and 13,000. So now we're through support levels. So yesterday's activity, 40,500 tip bar chart. I thought these blue professional bars buying those lows looked like that was just a double top. As soon as we went through the lows of those blue professional bars, that buying, the professionals didn't come back in. We've got professionals selling at the end of the day, kind of, possibly picking up at the end of the day, but it's kind of falling through this support level here. 13,500 tip bar chart, bang, we're through support. We've got to make pullback to end of trend and an exhaustion selling signal on the downside here, and on the 4,500 tip bar chart we broke through at the beginning of the day through support levels here. I was just going to show you that. I had two trades today. One shot, one kill, short at 1875 first thing in the morning, and it was because we were through support on all these time frames. So on the 4,500 tip bar chart, we started at the beginning of the day, broken through support, blue professional bars selling down. 1,500 tip bar chart, same thing. We'd broken support, we were selling down. I got short, we got a little bit of a retrace here. Blue professional up bar, the break of that low, kind of got short on the 500 tip bar chart. Let me just take you back. Same thing, through support, we sold off. We initially kind of just held a little bit with some exhaustion selling, came back, blue professional up bar here, jumped in there just before the pullback signal kind of went off, took 4 points on the way down. Tried another kind of short later on at 15.25, and that wasn't kind of going right, so I just got out with 3/4 of a point there. So it was kind of an easy, quick 4 3/4 points for me first thing in the morning. So that was kind of nice to do. But I think you can maybe hear it in my voice, this kind of anxiousness and excitement, kind of at the same time. I think this is 12.90 going down, and we've got all the news now is starting to kind of confirm price, if you like. In Europe, it's like we've had the weakness in all of these markets, and the news is bad out of Europe, and there's going to be kind of, I just think the momentum is really going to start to flow from now on. So I don't think the equities market's going to hold at kind of 1300. I think the activity we saw today was the end of this kind of weak rally, and now we're into a downtrend, and look for that 1290 level to get broken, and we're into some serious hurt. So I hope you're out of your long equity positions, at least on the sidelines, because I don't think the risk rewards are kind of starting to turn the other way. Anyway, I'll tag on my day trades pretty quick today, so I hope you traded well, and just the next couple of days just look out. 1875, short 1875, and just checking my stops and targets. Reason for getting short, looks like we're just coming up to a cyclical turning point, pullback in a downtrend, but might have jumped in a little bit early, but I think that's okay. Blue professional bars kind of coming up here, broken below all kinds of supports on 500, 1500 and 4500. This kind of just sell off, and the last time we had exhaustion buying was yesterday's high, so that exhaustion selling, but it's still got to make a bullish divergence. We're breaking the new lows. It's kind of good. It's Rambo though. It's going to bounce from there. It could be an end of trend kind of soon, but so we've had one exhaustion selling down here, but it's not going to turn around until we've had bullish divergence and maybe a pullback to end of trend. So just kind of got going after we broke through these support levels. Anyway, let's see where it goes. Well, we're just breaking down to the 16s. Just had so there's exhaustion selling and a first bullish divergence kind of come in here with a Rambo pattern. It's getting pretty excited. I suppose we've travelled quite a long ways from yesterday's kind of highs, but we're through these support levels, so and even on the higher time frames on 13,000 we're through support here, so could get caught by this next higher time frame, but it's got to go pull back to end of trend on 4,500 if that's the case. So it's just bouncing a little bit here. No blue professional bars on the way down. The last blue professional bars on 1500 was on the way up, so it's kind of getting short here. So still holding short. 1475 is the target. Flush pattern here, so pull back to end of trend. So a little bit of a bounce, but and this could go to the pullback in 1500, but let's wait and see. Let's wait and see till we get another kind of push down. Bingo! Just taken out 1475 for 4. Easy. And 8:40 AM, one shot, one kill. Excellent. Now this thing will probably just keep on going and going and going, but anyway, a little bit of bullish divergence kind of here. So support, still no blue professional bars kind of down here. It wasn't, it's kind of selling this move, kind of getting going. So yeah, we're kind of continuing down. But I'm quite happy with that.